Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope y'all are doing well. We're going to be getting back into the Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 Colon games. Colon games going hard. Kind of. Haven't really started them. Kind of started them, y'all. The last episode with the ancient sorcerer we saw who's axed like 40 people off already. That was probably one of like the coolest parts of the last episode, at least for me, because kind of was shocking knowing that the Colon games is already happening this whole time in the background. And yeah, man, I kind of just want to get into it, you know, like I want to our characters to get into the mix of the Colon games, like Yuta. Maybe we'll catch up with him, because I kind of want to get I don't know, I want to be in the mix so I get a better idea of like how it's actually all, like the games are really flowing in real time, like how people are encountering each other, like what the colonies look like, right? Because there's multiple colonies, are, you know, like alliances being formed, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into this one. I hope y'all enjoy it. If you do, drop a like for me, comment all the good YouTube stuff. Appreciate you. And yeah, let's go and watch some JJK together. Kind of sounds like ghetto. Oh, it is. Okay. Well, or the brain dude. It is very dreamlike, dreamy. It's got some weird vibes, man. Cool shot. Is that Saruman being displaced by all this? Bro, that'd be so scary. Oh, dude, is this the like one of Itadori's friends from episode 1 of season 1, like the occult club? And was that the dude too? I don't remember. Man, that's a throwback, man. Now they believe him. Dude, I love how they like recognize the sensitivity for Panda. They really see Panda as his own being and capable of mourning and grieving the loss of his dad. Nice. Sea urchin head is a good nickname for him. Ooh, owning that shit, Megumi. Okay. I guess I shouldn't call him Megumi anymore if he's the head of Zenin now. Oh my gosh. Dude, the next day the Zenin clan was annihilated or exterminated. Another one? Or is this the same? Oh, it's the same, okay. Shine song. Oh. Dude, this is like a whole crazy master plan, dude. Dude, Kogane's cute. Ta-da! Yeah, dude. Crazy.
シグロの言うことは聞いて。気のような巻き込まれた人間をって結界から出たがらない憎した過去の術師も契約しただけで必ずしもモチベーションのように点を持て余しているやつが1点以上持っててルール追加をするそいつをのして積み木が買い
Little loophole here.
まずはネックのルール8を逆ルール8 9日以内にポイントの変動あるルールです。
Yeah, this one basically makes people kill.
プレイヤー間でのこれで身内でポイント死ぬこ
That's
とは
smart, man.
ポイントを消費して死滅回遊か
例の永続に停止。
俺もそう思います。プレイヤーを死滅回日替わり条件を盛り込む。
その辺は
何にせよ獄門教の風歌詞もはじめ日車ひろみを狩る。やっぱいねえな天
本名じゃないんだろ。俺の少なみたい。
天元さんは東京の第二コロニーにいるって
なりは分かってんのか。
見ればわかるそうです。
大丈夫か。いや、俺とパンダが東京第二グロキュンと虎杖が大キララは結界外で耐えていいな。得点だけ見れば一番強い貸元俺がやん。
Dude, that'd be such a cool face-off, dude.
おっこつから連絡ねってことは結界の中じゃ携帯を把握できるやつはいた方がいい。
待って、シグロは別の方がいいか。少ながまうるせえ。先輩たちわがまま言う。わがままお前毎回めんどくせえ。
Goodness, these two. Like brothers bickering. Jeez, that's crazy, dude. Imagine seeing that in real life, dude. How terrifying. Look, it would look like the end of the world.
いや、誰か来ないことには
何やあんま舐めてる。
すべきは受肉した過去の俺もそう思ったぜ。ねしてくれたぜ。4年前の連中もいる。100年や200年でも命の違う。しかも10って死ぬのは当たり前。戦って死ぬために賢者と契約したのかも。確かに火車は過去の術師の可能性。
See how different their mindsets are based off of like what culture was like back then. Imagine how conservative it was back then.
特に夜は人を同じ。現代人の術師な積極的に情報交換。
What a great introduction. Where players fight to the death.
ああ。まずは火車の情報収集。
Oh, they got separated? Oh no. Oh. Bro, there's people taking advantage of this shit. Oh my god. Oh. Newbie hunters, these bastards, of course. You picked a bad one to go after. Oh, damn, Yuji. Look at his little helicopter rotator. Where's he know Itadori from? Cool, man. What the hell is this? It's so great. Oh, that was dope. It's so goofy, but really cool too. The propeller attack. That's the word I was looking for. Propeller. It just tears the whole building apart. Damn, that's crazy. Schmoody. Oh, it's their hair, technically? Damn. Ooh. Another weak point. Guy was real cocky. He's got bigger things on his plate. Uh-oh. Oh, it's the other guy. Remy.
覚えてるか
I don't.
誰だなんで俺の名前を一方的に俺が知ってるだお前は言う西中の同じ地元の方で
He was pretty popular at his old school, man. He was like so athletic.
戦う理由は何だ
Maybe not popular,
あのね
just well known for his athleticism.
コロニーから出しても初めからコロニーの中にいた不滅回遊に参加して今日で
Hmm.
私だってやらなきゃやられるの戦う理由を探してる間に12日もいればそれくらいわかるその過程で力に溺れて過去のだ現在のことを考えるのはやめ
この術師に触発されて戦闘モードってわけか虎杖に余計なこと言っちまういいのか仲間あの二人俺はただのパシリだよ殺されてたさいい加減どこに向かっているのか教えて
だから
Some weird
言ったら
vibes,
その後
man.
あんたが私を殺さない保証が
そうか甘いだ甘いりお前が死んだらどうする
だからあんたが守るんでとお前って呼ぶな
万が一車はどこにいるの
ああいいわざっくりとなら教えてあげる
強いやつほど栄地が豊富だからな
火車は
池袋
新宿
にいる
にいる
One of them's a damn liar, bro. I wonder which one you can trust more. On the surface, it seems like the guy would be more trustworthy because he was being used, kind of, right? Or like, you know, he was kind of their pawn. He knows Itadori or looked up to him. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he could be more trustworthy. But on the other hand, that's on face value. Maybe they'll throw a little spin zone in here. Dude, the freaking propellers were geeking me, but also like every time I started geeking, like the animation would pop off or just something cool happened. I'm like, all right, I'm back in it. Alrighty, y'all, let's go and get in the review section. Looks like I got what I was wishing for. The entrance into the Culling games officially. I guess officially for Megumi, not really for Itadori. He's been there, or he's been part of the Culling games for a little bit now. Very mysterious. Lots of mystery there that I am very intrigued to learn more about with this whole connection of Kenjaku and Sukuna and Itadori, man. There's something deep going on here. There really is. Let's go ahead and start with the opening scene, because honestly, one of my favorite parts of the episode. I thought, well, once I realized it, the fact that Sasaki and Oguchi, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but the original classmates of Yuji, the occult club, right? It's funny, I was actually going back and watch, you know, I just kind of went through some of episode 1, because, I mean, y'all, I probably watched season 1 of JJK for the first time, you know, what, like 5 years ago, 7 years ago? I mean, how long has season 1 been out for? Hold on. I mean, on Crunchyroll it says released 2001. I know that ain't true, but I feel like I watched it in like 2020 or something, you know, or before 2020. It was definitely before the pandemic. So I don't know. It's been a minute. And I've definitely rewatched season 1 at points, like with some friends or with Bethany. But I didn't remember these two right off the bat. Obviously, it's been a bit, but I thought it was amazing getting to see them and references to Yuji. And of all people, it being Kenjaku, to thank her for being his son's friend, actually calling him his son. I guess it's really her son, right? Kenjaku at that time was Yuji's mother, at least as far as we've seen with like the scars or whatever. But it makes you so curious about Kenjaku, because obviously it's alluding to the fact that Itadori's, you know, man-made, right? Like a death painting or something, right? I don't know if it really hasn't been said directly outright, but it's implied that he's Kenjaku's creation because Kenjaku was Itadori's mother. Or maybe he is still just a regular human and Kenjaku can reproduce with human beings. I feel like that might be a death painting though, right? Or that's what it feels like it should be, since a death painting seems to be kind of like, you know, a mix of human and a curse together. But it just makes you think about, like, how does Kenjaku really feel about Itadori? You know, he kind of, just the way that he said that makes it seem like he's got some kind of paternal instinct there, like he cares about Sasaki being friends with his son back then, or, you know, before he became the vessel of Sukuna, that he had some care for him. But also at the same time, it also makes you think, you know, what kind of care is it? Is it really caring as like a parent would, or is it more this controlling master plan that he seems to be putting into play with the Culling games, and even what I mentioned at the very beginning of the review section with Sukuna and the ties to Sukuna, right? The fact that Itadori has already joined the Culling games, maybe that is evidence of a pact between Sukuna and Kenjaku. And then if that's the case, what exactly is this pact? How does it relate to Itadori in this, right? Because he couldn't have known that Itadori was going to be the vessel, right? Maybe, because, you know, we see, you know, Megumi even says it, that Itadori ate the cursed object, the finger of Sukuna, by his own will, right? You know, it was when I was watching episode 1, you see it, right? He's like in the clutches of that big curse and ends up eating it for the cursed energy. But maybe there's something more here. Maybe this was set up by Kenjaku, or maybe it could be even something more nefarious. Like, does he have control over Yuji or Itadori's will or like actions? You know, that'd be even crazier. I feel like, you know, this is all very just theoretical, of course, with me trying to connect dots that we don't really have as much information, but you can see that you know, there's hints being thrown in there. The fact that Megumi says, like, let's talk about it later, you know, is kind of gonna drag this out a bit more. But boy, is it really interesting, because then Kenjaku becomes such a central part of the whole story, connecting to our main character here. And maybe even all the way back from episode 1, there was things we didn't know about as an audience, which I'm always so excited when those things happen. You know, it just flips the story on its head and makes you think about it from a different perspective. I love when authors can do that. I think a good example of that is Attack on Titan, with the time travel, the paths and everything. Like, that flipped the story on the head with Aaron's character. Will this be the same for Yuji's character? Really, really curious on that, y'all. Let's go ahead and do the character ratings. For MVP, I'm going to give it to Megumi again. I really just appreciate Megumi's character more and more in this arc so far. Like, you've seen him kind of stepping into like a bit of a leadership role here, being the lead of the group and, you know, flexing his Zenin clan title. But yeah, I don't know. I just really like his thought process. You can tell that everyone really relies on him, at least in this immediate group, for kind of, you know, knowing all the Culling game rules, but now he's already thinking about ways to get around it to help people get out. You know, I thought the whole allowing players to transfer points was a really great idea. That's really creative, a good way to get around the whole death part of like not collecting points, which is probably the biggest thing that's going to make people keep killing each other, right? I think that's a really smart way to think about it. I think Megumi is a little interesting in these episodes too, because we kind of see the morality split between him and Yuji, where he's a little bit more willing to be cutthroat, you know, potentially kill people even for his sister, whereas Yuji is very like, I don't want to kill anybody. Like, that's his last thing he wants to do after killing people outside of his will because of Sukuna, you know? So it's kind of interesting seeing Megumi's thought process there. But yeah, overall, just really think he's such an important character in the Culling game so far. And I hope we get a lot more of him too. I kind of hope him and Yuji stick together and kind of like are the main characters we follow throughout it. For the best moment, I'm going to give it to Yuji as he enters the Culling games, being launched into the sky. I thought that whole sequence was sick. Fighting helicopter man and jet plane woman. A little silly, but I thought the animation and kind of the production of that fight was really well done. Even just the narrator kind of explaining the newbie hunters, pretty cool. For the funniest character, by the way, the humor in this episode was great. Lots of funny ones. I got to give a call to Sasaki quick when Kenjaku is like explaining how this place is going to be, you know, a place for people to kill each other. It's going to be, you know, just a battle here. She's like, can you not do that in my neighborhood? Just like so bluntly. That was great. But I thought Hikari was the funniest character overall, though. He was a goof, bro. The little flowers around him and everything. Silly. And then for the Sako, we'll give it to Propeller Man. Give it to the Propeller dude. Oh, you broke your fist. You lost this now. Gets kicked in the nuts. Are those ones like normal people who've had powers awaken? I'm kind of feeling like that's what it would be like. But then again, who knows? There's definitely some strange powers out there that we've seen. So, but yeah, y'all, I enjoyed this one a lot. I think honestly, it's nice getting a little bit actually into the plot now. I feel like there's been a lot of exposition the past few episodes. Not a bad thing by any means, necessary, of course, for the Culling games, but I'm just excited that we're in it now, in the mix. And having some misdirection already with Yuji's old, or not, I don't know if he's a classmate, he went to the school at least, but knowing him versus this girl and who's really telling the truth and who's lying. I'm gonna call it now. I think the dude's lying. I think the dude, it just seems too simple that the girl would be the one lying. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with the dude is lying and the girl is actually at least truthful, or at least like wants to actually like, you know, have an alliance with Megumi or somebody. She wants protection in a really roundabout way. I don't know, man. I'm saying that now and I'm like, dude, she seems like she's freaking lying. She seems like she's like the crafty, manipulative one versus this dude. But I don't know. I'm gonna go against the odds here. But let me know what y'all's theory would be with that. Maybe we can all make some bets together. Be like Hikari. We'll all gamble on this Culling Games together. But yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode, what your character ratings would have been. I appreciate y'all joining me today, and I'll catch you for episode 8 next week. Peace.